Well, we know everybody's struggling, so a lot of the people nearly half the people that have lost a job to the virus, they believe that the jobs won't return. Also, a lot of people who that were collecting unemployment basically are gonna lose that next week anyway. So after that, they won't have any unemployment to look forward to. So they're gonna be forced to go back out and get a job. And and then also not just that, a lot of the people who basically lost their jobs, they're relying on food banks to basically get food for their family. And at least at a food bank, you can get the food for free. Even a guy like me who doesn't usually like asking for help, I've been going to food banks because right now I'm like the only one really working other than my uncle. But my mom doesn't work anymore; she's retired. So basically, whatever money I'm making from my job, and whatever money that my uncle makes usually goes into paying the rent and phone bill and everything else. But then my mom just heads over to the food bank, grabs whatever food they give her, and then brings it home. But I really don't like to have to go to a food bank if I don't have to. But that's just some people are just desperate right now. But let me get back to the main story. So nearly half of the people say that whatever jobs that were lost to the virus, they don't think they're going to return. So nearly half of Americans whose families experienced a layoff during the coronavirus pandemic now believe that those jobs are lost forever. A new poll shows a sign of increasing pessimism that would translate into roughly 10 million workers needing to find a new employer, if not a new occupation. It's a sharp change after initial optimism that the jobs would return as temporary cutbacks gave way to shuttered businesses, bankruptcies, and lasting payroll cuts. In April, 78% of those people in households with a job loss thought that they would be temporarily. Now, 47% think that lost job is definitely are probably not coming back, according to the latest poll from the Associated Press. The poll is the latest sign that the solid hiring of May and June, as some states lifted stay-at-home orders and the economy began to recover a little bit, may wane as the year goes on, adding to the challenge. Many students will begin the school year online, making it harder for parents to take jobs outside of their home. Well, they do have those stay-at-home jobs where you can work from home. Honestly, at this point, there's not going to be a job to go back to," said Tanika Daly, 35, who lives in Riverside, California. She has four children, ranging from the youngest being 3, and the kids range from 3 to 18. The kids are going to do virtual school, and there is no daycare. Daly was furloughed from her job as a manager at JCPenney, which has filed for bankruptcy protection. The extra $600 a week in jobless benefits Congress provided as part of the federal government's coronavirus relief efforts let her family pay down its credit cards, she said, but the potential expiration or reduction of those benefits in August would force her to borrow money to get by. The economy's recovery has shown signs of stalling amid a resurgence of the coronavirus. The number of laid-off workers seeking jobless benefits rose last week for the first time since March, while the number of U.S. infections shot past 4 million, with many more cases being undetected. The poll shows that 72% of Americans would rather have restrictions in place in their communities to stop the spread of the COVID-19 than remove them in an effort to help the economy. Just 27% want to prioritize the economy over efforts to stop the outbreak. The only real end to this pandemic problem is the successful application of vaccines, said Fred Folkman, 82, a business professor from Long Island in New York. About 9 in 10 Democrats prioritize stopping the virus, while Republicans are more divided. 46% focus on stopping the spread, while 53% say the economy is the top priority, which it really isn't right now if you think about it. But the fake President Donald Trump and Congress have yet to agree to a new aid package. Democrats who control the House have championed an additional $3 trillion in help, including money for state and local governments. The Republicans who control the Senate have proposed only $1 trillion, decreasing the size of the expanded unemployment benefits. Overall, about half of the Americans say that they or someone in their household has lost some kind of income over the course of this pandemic, and that includes 27% who say someone has been laid off, 33% have been scheduled for fewer hours, and 24% have taken unpaid time off, and 29% had wages or salaries cut in half. 18% of those who lost a household job now say it has come back, while another 34% still expect it to return. But the poll continues to show the pandemic's disparate impact. About 6 in 10 non-white Americans say that they have lost a source of household income, compared with about half of the white Americans. 46% of those with college degrees say that they have lost some form of household income, compared with the 56% of those who went without. Trump's approval rating on the handling of the economy stands at only 40-something%, consistent with where it stood a month ago, but down from January and March when 56% said they approved. Still, the economy remains Trump's strongest issue, which not really. Working to Trump's advantage, 88% of the repugs, including 85% of whose households have lost income during the pandemic, approve of his handling of the economy. That's because they're inbred trailer trash. But 82% of the Democrats disapprove of it. A lot of the people criticize our fake president, but he is not a cheerleader, said Jim Russ, a 74-year-old who's 74, a retired state worker from Austin, Texas. As long as we keep that, the American people will think positive and look positive. Doesn't look like that way now. That poll that finds 38% of Americans think the national economy is good, that's about the same as in June and up from 29% in May, but far below the 67% who felt that way in January. 64% of Republicans think that the economy is good, which it's not, compared with 19% who say that 19% of Democrats who say it does. Likewise, 59% of the Republicans expect the economy to improve in the next year, which I don't see that happening anytime soon, while Democrats are more likely to expect it to worsen than improve, 47 to 29%. 65% of Americans also call their personal financial situation good. That's about the same as it's been throughout the pandemic and before the crisis began. But still, Americans are slightly less likely than they were a month ago to expect their personal financial situation to improve in the next year. 33% of that now, after 38% said to a month ago, another 60% expect their finances to worsen, while 51% expect no changes at all. So much of what happens in the economy will depend on the trajectory of the virus, said Danny Vaughn, who's 72, from Dade City, Florida. He says, "I don't disagree with everything the fake president does. I do. But his failed leadership on the coronavirus has been lacking," Vaughn said, "and that's the number one issue facing the American people right now." This poll was conducted of about 1,057 adults between July 16th and the 20th, using a sample drawn from the NORC's probability-based AmeriSpeak panel, which is designed to be representative of the U.S. population. The margin of sampling error for all respondents is plus or minus a 4.3% percentage points. Now, okay, so if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Ryan Ben Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And thanks for listening.